Part 3, develop DAO implementation class. Our second main file to be developed. So when we start, we go to this package, JDBC, DAO.jdbc. In the DAO, you can see question DAO.java. It is an interface. It is not a Java class. It's an interface. So we need to provide implementation class. So this one, from the name, you can see JDBC, because when we implement DAO interface, we have many different ways. So JDBC way is one of the implementation way. So here we use the Spring internal support of JDBC. JDBC provides internal support. So here we use that part. All right, so this is the skeleton file. Skeleton, so no, business code there. To put the code, business code there, so let's use the step 2, develop DAO implementation class 2.1. Add the instance variables. We only use one instance variable, data source. Data source, it contains the database information in this object. Connection information, URL, username, password, all those parameters, database related parameters, all included in this data source object. And how do we provide it? Very simple. In our XML configuration, we will configure that data source. And our database information file is included in the resource folder. So remember, if we go back to the project folder, look at the resource folder. If we open that data.properties, if you open it, you can see the database information is there. All right, so if you use the Mac version, you need to change this part. And some of the students, you may also need to modify username password. You may use different username password. Probably username the same, but password could be different. Some students set different password. Make sure you use the correct parameters for your database. Then let us put our meat in the skeleton code. First, data source object, just one line in instance variable, and we will use dependency injection to, provide the code. Dependency injection. All right, so second one, setter. For the dependency injection, so we have this object, we can do the query. All right, so that's the second step. The third one, we have 2 query methods. So we provide a code for these 2 methods. 2.3, add the list method. So you can see the code is here, list. Inside it, we use the Spring JDBC support, this class, JDBC template. This is the Spring class, JDBC template. Data source object, we pass to it. So this object, we can use it to do the query in a relatively easy way. So then we define a query string. So we're familiar with this query string. After that, then we need to do the query. So we have this list object to hold, retrieve the data. But when we do the query, so you can see it this way, jt.query for list. So we get the list object. But the list object here, it is an object type. It's not our question type. We want to make a question type. So then here we need to use a for loop for each loop to make that, the row data stored in the rows object, and retrieve and store, copy, put in the list. In this way, we, prepare our data. All right, so this is our first query method. We just copy the definition and replace this one. That's our implementation. Okay, save. Then the last query method, 2.4, add method. Pretty short. JDBC template, insert string, call update method, because there is no return result to be processed. So there is a question mark. So here, we know the meaning of the question mark, right? So here, inside in order to provide values for the question mark, we use this array. You see, object array, new object array. So in the array, we only have one question mark, one value for one question mark. If you have two question marks, you provide two values for those two question marks, and so on. All right, so let us copy the whole method and replace this empty one and save. So we complete our second main class. Then we have one step left, configuration file. After we complete that, we can do the testing. So we complete the whole project. All right, so let me stop our video number 3 here.